Hey everyone, thank you for joining in today. In this video, I'd like to talk to you guys about how you can essentially save money by better managing your whole funds and better managing your whole money. So this way, like if you're saving up for maybe a down payment on a property or maybe for a new car, down payment, or even buying it outright, or even if it's something like a holiday or a vacation or anything like that, where you're trying to save money, a big amount or a chunk of money to essentially buy something. So yeah, let's get right into it. So basically, the first thing which I want to explain about saving money is what I personally like to do with is first things is create like several different accounts in a bank, or maybe it can be in multiple banks, and basically use each account for different purposes. Now, why I like to do this is because like I essentially break it down into three different accounts which I have. So one is basically for my daily spending account. So that's what I typically have one account for, and I use this on a day-to-day basis. Then I have another account which is sort of my fixed costs account. Now this is more an account which I like to basically put in every month of my income into that, which is a fixed amount which I put in. Now that fixed amount can be for whether it's my mortgage, my rent, or my electricity bill, stuff which I have to pay every month and I can't get out of it. Then the third account which I have is sort of my goals account or my savings account. Now this is the account which I put majorly all my money into it. Now, of course, you can have multiple accounts and stuff, like more accounts like that, but I feel personally that three accounts are enough, because essentially that sort of is a right balance. Sometimes it is advised that you can also open up another account, a fourth account, that can be sort of like a rainy day cash account, or I have done that in the past, but I realized it wasn't contributing much to it, so I closed that account. Now, going into these three different types of accounts, the next thing is basically the biggest and the most important thing is to actually sit down and go through your exact monthly fixed costs. Now, once you have this nailed down, your monthly fixed costs, then this way you can get an actual figure on how much is going, whether you like it or not, is going out. And then based on that, you can work towards saving money or your daily expenditure, like increasing it, decreasing and stuff. So what I suggest or recommend is to sit down and then just take a piece of paper and a pen and just write down. So for example, your mortgage or your rent, which you pay monthly. Then if it's your electricity bills or your gas bill, or even like mobile and internet bills, things which, whether you like it or not, you have to pay every month. Even like if it's your Netflix subscription, your, I don't know, Amazon subscription, things like that, just write it all down. And then find out how much is that fixed cost. So for example, for me, that fixed cost is sitting at around $2,000 every month. Now, some people it can be higher, some people it can be lower, but it's just figuring out that number. Once, and be very realistic as well with that number. Like if things, like if you're thinking about, oh, I'm probably not going to need this for next month or not, put it in there. The higher, try to keep a balance, like a fixed cost in there, which is very realistic, where you considered everything in it. Now, once you figured out this number, then the next step to do is basically when you get your income, like whether it's a salary, whether it's from a property, whatever it is, when you get your money, the next thing which you need to do is basically take that money and subtract the fixed cost from it. And once you subtracted the fixed cost from it, so for example, let's say I get in a month $5,000. Now what I'm doing is I'm removing, let's say $2,000, which is my fixed cost, from it. So I've got $3,000 to work with. Now what I would like to do with that $3,000 is then distribute it among my two other accounts, which I have. So one of them is my daily spending account, and then my other is my goals or savings account. Now, how I like to personally balance it out is put around 70% or even 65% into my savings account, and then put the remainder into my daily spending account. This way, this way I'm saving up that money, 60% of that money into 70% of that money into my basically my savings. And then this way through time, like every month that keeps increasing, and it helps me save better. And I make sure I don't touch that account at all. So if it has any debit cards linked to it or anything like that, I don't use it personally. I've just basically gotten rid of those cards, so it's harder for me to access that money. And then I got my daily spendings account. Now that daily spending account is the only money which I really use. So and when I keep looking at that, and then I realize, hey, wait, I'm coming low on this month. So it makes me a bit more conscious about my spending in general, and helps me better manage my money, because I now know, hey, this is the only amount of money I have for this month, and it'll help me basically save better and be more conscious of my decisions. And yeah, basically, once you have a bit of money saved up in your savings account, then I like to take that money out, which is a big chunk. So it can be like maybe 10,000 after year, 20,000 after year, depends on each individual, whatever, and then take that and put it into something else. Like, for example, if you want to buy a new car, you can use that money to buy a new car. Or if you like to, for example, put a down payment on a property, you can do that as well. And then this way, you have that money to work with. I hope you find this video useful and gives you a bit more insight on how to be able to manage your money. It basically comes down to how much you're essentially able to save. And yeah, one thing is, it's just human nature. Like if you have abundance of money sitting in just one account, you tend to just blow it away, and the next thing you know, oh, I don't have enough money for my rent. Oh, I haven't saved anything for this month. And it just makes you feel worse about yourself. So that's why I like to put a limit on my daily spending, after and removing everything from my savings, this and that, putting it all in the separate accounts, then having just one little tiny bit in my daily spending. So this way, when I get closer to the nil or zero value, I'm like, hey, I gotta slow down on my spendings. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and a like, and please subscribe. I'll be posting more videos similar to this, which I'll talk more about maybe different things like finances and stuff like that, or better managing your money and stuff like that. Now, drop a comment if you want to hear more about a certain topic. I'm happy to contribute my part to it. Take care. Until next time.